Let's put on our hat and act as if we were working for big tech. Let's do a little bit of a thought exercise. Why are they doing this? Why are they censoring and suppressing the Trump campaign account? Breitbart.com by the great Alam Bakari. Love that guy. We actually had him on our podcast. Think very highly of him. Twitter locks Trump campaign account less than 3 weeks before presidential election. Has a nice smiling selfie of Jack Dorsey. Why are they doing this? And the obvious answer is not the right answer here. It's like, because they hate Trump. Well, that's strategically really dumb. And these are publicly traded companies. They have a fiduciary responsibility. They have shareholders. Why are they doing this? It is not ideological. It's not. If it was ideological, I refuse to. I think it's somewhat ideological. I think it's more than that. I think that Twitter and Facebook to a lesser extent, and definitely Google, I think that they're surveying the landscape. I think that they're seeing internal chatter and they're seeing maybe things that we see or don't see. And they think that if they're able to push a little bit, it will make sure that Donald Trump loses and they can get the soft credit from it from the new administration, and they will not be regulated and they won't be shut down. So to put on your tech company hat, these tech companies are guessing, they are conjecturing that win or lose, the Republicans are going to make a stance critical of them. So these tech companies have basically stripped themselves of any sort of appearance, of any sort of mirage of trying to be fair and equal. So you see here, Alam Bakari writes that Twitter has suspended the Trump account for calling Joe Biden a liar, as it refers to the New York Post article. Suspends the Trump account, the official campaign account. House Judiciary Committee as well. Suspending a part of our government. So what happens when a private company starts censoring our government? Has that ever happened before? Has a private company ever censored our... I guess it has. I would imagine a newspaper has probably done that before. But this is such unprecedented stuff. A lot of the regulations and a lot of the ideas behind how we treat this is not necessarily applicable in a world where you can share content and information can be spread so quickly. So why are the tech companies doing this? They're doing this because they really believe that their interference 18 days out from an election is necessary. And this is where everyone is missing the story. The tech companies wouldn't be doing this if Joe Biden was assuredly going to win. The tech companies wouldn't be doing this if the internal polling, the enthusiasm index, voter registration, and the ground game was reflecting a Joe Biden wave. They wouldn't be doing this. The tech companies are doing this because there has been a distress signal sent out from the Joe Biden campaign, and they need help. That's why the tech companies are doing this. You see, you have to look at this from a business mindset. And this is where I think a lot of the conservative commentary has gone wrong on this, is that they look at it purely ideological. These are still publicly traded companies. They still have to answer to shareholders. The tech companies are doing this because they believe that the conservatives, if they get in power, they're going to get punished anyway. And these tech companies recognize and realize that they don't want to get punished and they want to be protected. Therefore, they are trying to bail Joe Biden out. And Joe Biden needs the help. They do. He does. These tech companies would not be doing this if Joe Biden was gliding to victory. And it's been well documented back in 2016 that these tech companies, being taken by surprise, being able to share stories about Hillary Clinton's corruption, significantly moved the dial in Donald Trump's direction. And again, in an unintended way, all of a sudden more people are talking about this in a Streisand effect kind of framework than we could have ever possibly imagined.